Are you ready to ride shotgun through the high-octane twists and turns of the Third Danish Biker War, where alliances shift like the wind? Strap in tight and hold on for dear life as we dive headfirst into the gritty clash between Hell's Angels and Satudarah MC. But here's the burning question. In a battle where the stakes are life and death, who will emerge victorious, and who will be left in the dust? Get ready to rev your engines and find out in this pulse-pounding saga of adrenaline-fueled mayhem. Between the years 1980 and 2013, the Hells Angels experienced a tumultuous journey in Denmark and Scandinavia, marked by three significant conflicts for dominance. Initially, they emerged victoriously in the First War against motorcycle clubs, MC, solidifying their grip on the region. Amidst this decline, a new contender, Satudarah MC, emerged on the scene, reminiscent of the Angels' ascent triggered by conflicts with the Bandidos. Unlike the Angels, Satudarah faced no recruitment hurdles, welcoming members of all ethnicities, including former Hells Angels and Bandido affiliates. This inclusive approach rapidly increased Satudarah's numbers, outpacing the Angels in Denmark and underscoring a shifting dynamic in the region's biker underworld. As Satudarah MC's influence surged, the Hells Angels found themselves on the defensive, grappling with internal fractures and external challenges. The once dominant Angels now confronted a formidable adversary, one that not only rivaled them in strength, but also embraced diversity and inclusivity, traits that had eluded the Angels in their twilight years. In the annals of Danish biker history, a new chapter was about to be written as tensions simmered between established players and emerging contenders. The stage was set for the fourth major conflict in 35 years, and Magnus, a chronicler of biker lore, bore witness to its unfolding drama. For the Hells Angels, adherence to international club rules was sacrosanct, and the presence of non-white members contradicted these principles. The dilemma tore through the club's ranks, pitting loyalty against tradition. While some members advocated for embracing their old allies despite their racial backgrounds, others upheld the club's regulations, unwilling to compromise its integrity. Ultimately, the rejection of the VHC's bid severed ties forged in the crucible of past conflicts, transforming erstwhile allies into adversaries. Faced with exclusion, the VHC sought solace and acceptance elsewhere, turning their sights towards Satudarah MC. In 2013, the first tendrils of Satudarah's influence crept into Denmark, attracting a diverse cadre of eager young recruits, united not by ethnicity but by a thirst for brotherhood and belonging. The Lions and Barrels Bar, typically a venue for camaraderie and revelry, transformed into a battleground on a fateful night in February 2014. Members of rival biker clubs, once allies and bosom companions, found themselves embroiled in a violent spree that would leave scars on both sides. Magnus, the chronicler of biker lore, watched with a heavy heart as events unfolded, knowing that this clash would shape the course of Danish biker history. The spark igniting this powder keg of tension was a seemingly innocuous snide comment, yet its repercussions were far-reaching. According to reports from Ekstrabladet, members of the Hells Angels, HA and AK-81, provoked the Satudarah MC by denigrating them as mere street gangs. What began as verbal sparring inside the bar quickly escalated into a full-blown brawl, drawing bystanders into its chaotic orbit. The arrival of law enforcement marked the denouement of the chaos, with police swiftly moving to quell the violence and apprehend the combatants. Reports surfaced of knives drawn and, alarmingly, even gunfire echoing in the night air, although no firearms were recovered by authorities. Miraculously, amidst the chaos, no innocent bystanders suffered harm. However, casualties within the warring factions were inevitable, with one Satudarah member and two Hells Angels sustaining injuries from stab wounds. In the aftermath of the bloody skirmish, the tally of arrests stood at a staggering 28 individuals, a testament to the scale of the confrontation. With battle lines drawn and wounds fresh, there could be no turning back for either faction. The die was cast, and Danish biker history braced itself for the eruption of a new chapter in the ongoing saga of rivalries, alliances, and the quest for dominance in the shadowy underworld of motorcycle clubs. As the conflict between Satudarah MC and Hells Angels escalated, a closer examination of Satudarah's origins offered insights into their formidable rise. Founded in 1990 in the Dutch town of MRE, Satudarah quickly gained notoriety for its brutal and uncompromising reputation. both externally and internally. This was a club where rules were enforced with ruthless efficiency, even extending to measures against members suspected of betrayal. A notable incident highlighted Satudarah's strict internal discipline when a member faced the dire consequence of losing their colors due to alleged communication with outsiders. However, this punishment was later rescinded upon the revelation of a misunderstanding. Such incidents underscored the club's unwavering commitment to its code. Former members who had proven their loyalty through acts of violence were welcomed back into the fold with open arms, a testament to Satudarah's fierce loyalty to its own. Jorjunki Neelan, tasked with mediating internal conflicts within the Angels, grappled with the daunting challenge of maintaining unity amidst a backdrop of power struggles and rivalries. The club's recruitment policies, limited to white males, further compounded their woes, resulting in stagnant membership numbers. In contrast, Satudarah's inclusive approach, welcoming individuals of all ethnicities, proved to be a magnet for aspiring bikers disillusioned by the Angels' exclusivity. This surge in membership saw Satudarah swiftly eclipse the Angels in numbers and territorial dominance. Amidst this shifting landscape, alliances once deemed unthinkable began to materialize. Hell's Angels, sensing the urgency of their predicament, extended an olive branch to former adversaries, including ex-bandidos who found sanctuary within their ranks. This strategic pivot underscored the desperate measures taken by the Angels to fortify their weakening position in the face of Satudarah's relentless ascent. As tensions simmered and alliances shifted, Magnus watched with bated breath, knowing that the stage was set for a clash of titans that would redefine the very fabric of Denmark's biker underworld. The tenuous peace shattered just days after the pub brawl, as a harrowing incident unfolded in Ganos. Two members of AK-81 attempted to mow down a young Satudarah member with a car in a brazen display of aggression. Miraculously, the intended victim narrowly escaped the deadly assault, seeking refuge within the protective confines of a nearby police station. Yet, the assailants' thirst for blood remained unquenched as they unleashed a chilling onslaught on a bystander. With ruthless precision, they struck their victim with a car before descending upon him with a barrage of blows from an iron pipe. Despite his lack of affiliation with Satudarah, the brutality of the attack left a haunting imprint on the streets of Denmark. In the ensuing crackdown, police apprehended 10 individuals with ties to Satudarah, uncovering a cache of weapons including shovels, spikes, and even an axe concealed within the vehicles of suspected perpetrators. Meanwhile, within the confines of Horse Rod State Prison, a Satudarah member fell victim to a brutal assault orchestrated by a Hell's Angels associate, adding another layer of violence to an already volatile landscape. As the violence spiraled out of control, Satudarah members found themselves in the crosshairs of law enforcement, facing charges ranging from extortion and drug trafficking to weapon smuggling. Unlike their counterparts in Hell's Angels, who often delegated illicit activities to support groups, Satudarah members operated with a brazen visibility that invited scrutiny and retribution. In the autumn of 2017, the violence spilled beyond the streets and into the private domain, as evidenced by the harrowing case of Kevin Joel Anderson, a Satudarah member. Anderson fell victim to a vicious stabbing attack at his own home, marking yet another grim chapter in the club's tumultuous history. The subsequent discovery of his dismembered body, dumped in a forest, sent shockwaves through the community and prompted a high-profile murder investigation. The ensuing legal proceedings shed light on the dark underbelly of Satudarah's internal dynamics, revealing a web of betrayal and violence. Two men, both linked to Satudarah, stood accused of Anderson's murder and subsequent desecration of his remains. Despite attempts to deflect blame onto one another, both were ultimately convicted in 2018, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences of the club's internal strife. Amidst the bloodshed and turmoil, a separate incident involving an immigrant named Nadim further fueled the flames of controversy. Nadim's tragic demise at the hands of Alexander Fainus, a Satudarah prospect turned full-fledged member. The escalating violence drew the attention of Danish authorities, prompting calls for decisive action. Minister of Justice Peter Hilgard issued a stern warning, emphasizing the need to combat biker and gang groups with all available resources. The prospect of a ban on Satudarah loomed large, with the Danish National Unit for Serious Crime tasked with investigating the possibility of dissolution proceedings against the club and other similar entities. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the toll of the conflict became apparent. While Hell's Angels emerged as the last standing faction in Denmark, Satudarah underwent a metamorphosis. Ultimately, as Magnus reflected on the aftermath of the war, it became clear that neither Hell's Angels nor Satudarah could claim victory. Instead, it was the authorities who emerged as the true winners, quelling the violence and restoring order to the once chaotic biker underworld. Yet the scars of the conflict would linger, serving as a reminder of the human cost of biker warfare in Scandinavia. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button